Straight ahead on 12 News.
It's time for everyone to get fired up and ready for this.
A rally in Crystal demanding answers for the suspensions of 2 police officers. Plus, a home in Golden Valley that council members want to see torn down. But first, an unusually high number of sudden infant death syndrome cases.
And I haven't seen that many infant deaths in a 4 or 5 month period ever.
12 News starts right now.
The city of Brooklyn Center is dealing with a sudden rise in SIDS cases. Hello, I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Mike Johnson. It is a sobering statistic. In the past 5 months, there have been 4 sudden infant death syndrome cases in that city. That has health experts trying to raise awareness about SIDS. And 12 News reporter Sonia Goins has more.
It's tragic all the way across the board and unprecedented as far as I'm concerned.
It's a parent's worst fear. You put your baby down to sleep and they never wake up. That's exactly what happened to 4 families in Brooklyn Center.
I've worked for the city for about 19 years, and I haven't seen that many infant deaths in a 4 or 5 month period ever.
For the parents who lost their children, the emptiness is unimaginable.
And we're dealing with infants that are ranging from the age of 4 months to 7 months.
SIDS is the leading cause of death among infants 1 month to 1 year old.
We do believe one of the cases occurred when an infant was sleeping with either a sibling or a parent.
And that's something that officials at HCMC say you don't want to do.
Tragically, we know that many of the cases of sudden, unexpected infant death are caused by unsafe sleep. And we recognize at the same time that it's cozy and wonderful to sleep with a baby and maybe easier to breastfeed and respond. But we know that unexpected strangulation and suffocation can occur, even, with totally loving parents.
There should be no soft things in the crib, like stuffed animals, blankets, or pillows.
They should be in a safe crib, a safe bassinet, or a play yard that has a firm mattress that fits that particular bed.
And babies should be put to sleep on their backs.
Not on their side, not on their tummy, but on their back from the minute they're born.
There are a number of things that contribute to SIDS: medical illness, ingestion, and trauma. But health experts say caretakers and parents can reduce the risk of SIDS.
I would just implore parents and providers and physicians and nurses and people that deal with families to make sure that we're keeping babies safe in bed. That's really the best way that we can counter this tragedy.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The Brooklyn Center Police Department is teaming up with the Minnesota SIDS Center to provide information to residents. Educational seminars will take place throughout the city in the next couple of weeks.
A Plymouth man was watching football in his living room this weekend when he got a surprise. He looked up and saw an intruder run out the front door. Now 18-year-old Kostya Hogg of Brooklyn Park is charged with first-degree burglary. A neighbor saw him leave the house, followed him, and later identified him for police. The victim discovered 2 cameras and cash missing.
Police say a Brooklyn Center man was one of 2 people struck by a hit-and-run driver in Roseville. The other person hit was dragged underneath the suspect's vehicle for nearly a mile. Police believe the suspect, Enrico Taylor, fled because he can't legally drive. Taylor has an extensive criminal history and has already served 3 prison sentences. Both men were hit in a crosswalk near Rosedale Center Mall. The Brooklyn Center man suffered minor injuries. The other victim from Circle Pines is hospitalized with serious injuries. Their names were not released. A public outcry continues in Crystal over the treatment of 2 veteran police officers.
The Crystal Police Department suspended Officer Alan Watt last fall, and Officer Rob Erkenbrack was fired from his job last month. Both officers attribute their suspensions to critical comments they've made about the department and the police chief. Delane Cleveland has more.
I think you all know why we're out here. There's been a serious lack of justice here in Crystal.
It's become an all too familiar sight at Crystal City Hall.
All of us here tonight, we need to get them to listen to us once and for all. Hopefully the 3rd time's the charm.
A group of people angry about the treatment of 2 veteran police officers.
It's time for everyone to get fired up and ready for this.
What they want are answers about why officers Alan Watt and Rob Erkenbrock were disciplined.
These people cannot
cannot get away with what they're doing.
They also want an outside agency to look into the matter rather than having everything handled internally.
Wouldn't it be better in the long run as a council to make this decision to go ahead and do the outside investigation? Because really, what do you have to lose?
The group took its concerns to a Crystal citizen input meeting to address the mayor, council, and city staff.
If these guys are guilty of something terrible, take them out behind the building and shoot them. Otherwise, put them back to work and stop it.
Some of the discussion was testy.
I want to know who the hell made that decision that Officer Watt is forbidden to go on city property.
I'm not sure. I do not know that answer.
You're the mayor, you should know.
I understand that.
The mayor and council answered what they could, but because of employee data privacy laws, they couldn't say much.
There seems to be this idea that because we're council members, we have all the information. Well, the honest truth is we don't. We're dealing with a large, for lack of a better term, bureaucracy here.
In the end, the public didn't quite get the answers they wanted, but they at least had the opportunity to engage in an open dialogue.
They need to know that they are being heard, and that's pretty much what happened tonight.
In Crystal, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Crystal's city manager Ann Norris released a statement saying that all police officers are members of a union and have a collective bargaining agreement with a grievance procedure. The city is required to adhere to the collective bargaining agreement, and the city will release pertinent public data when the matter is resolved.
Following a fatal crash Monday in Brooklyn Center, MnDOT is urging motorists to slow down in work zones. 62-year-old Joanne Rogers of Maple Grove was killed on I-694, where road construction is taking place. Over the past 5 years, public safety officials report an average of more than 5,000 crashes each year.
The owners of a home badly damaged by fire last June have now been given 6 weeks to tear it down. Golden Valley officials say the home in the 400 block of Cloverleaf Drive is structurally unsafe and presents a hazard. The house has been boarded up and fenced off, but inside, fire officials say the floors have been entirely burned out. One city council member calls it an attractive nuisance. Officials say it should have been torn down before now. They've given the owner 45 days to remove the building. Coming up, the spice of life found in your garden.
We'll have tips to get the most out of your fresh herbs. Then later in sports, Breck's top-ranked boys soccer team looks to stay unbeaten. We catch up with the Mustangs.
But first, visible signs of fall to go along with the fall-like forecast. Temperatures this weekend may dip into the 40s. Here's something that'll save you money in the kitchen.
Harvesting and then preserving fresh herbs from your garden or the farmer's market can save you quite a bit this winter at the grocery store. Reporter Shannon Slatton shows us the best ways to store fresh herbs in today's Money Saver.
A few ounces of basil will cost you anywhere from $3 to $5 at the grocery store. So harvesting your plant now can save you money throughout the winter. Today we're chatting with Master Gardener Jennifer Ebeling to learn the best ways to harvest your plants and still preserve the flavor.
You can actually dry plants like basil and sage and mint and lavender just simply by tying them.
After you tie a small cutting, hang it upside down until dry.
Once they're dry, you want to crumble them up, store them in a dry, airtight location.
Then frozen herbs can last up to a year in the freezer.
There's a couple of ways that you can preserve your herbs by freezing them.
After you chop the herbs, you can store them in a plastic bag.
Another tip for flash freezing is you can lay it out on a cookie sheet, pop it in the freezer, and that'll do a quick flash freeze, and then put it in the bag.
To better preserve flavor, you can also freeze herbs in olive oil.
Filling each ice cube tray with about a teaspoon of the herb. Fill the trays about halfway full with oil, just so that they're covered.
Once frozen, these cubes will be perfect for pasta, sauces, or marinades.
We are making a salt rub, so we're going to add a lot of salt.
Incorporating your herbs into a salt that can be used for rubs or seasoning is also becoming very popular. Jennifer adds rosemary, sage, and salt, then garlic to make this rub.
We have just finished making a Tuscan salt.
And finally, use your microwave.
Microwaving is just another method that you can use to quickly dry herbs like sage.
To do that, pull off the leaves, zap in the microwave until dry, crumble it, and store in an airtight container.
Enjoy the flavor and the cost savings all year long.
In Maple Grove, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
And there are a few other ways of preserving herbs. That includes compound butter or pesto. All of those directions, that is, are posted on Jennifer's website, which is linked through ours at 12.tv. Well, coming up, we catch up with a New Hope business considered one of America's most innovative companies.
But first in sports, Park Center swings for a win on the volleyball court. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
John Jacobson with sports now, and we now know the names of the teams that are going to be in this new conference, and it affects the matchups for all the sports.
It does, yeah. The Metro West and some schools from the old North Suburban, from the old Lake Conference, the South Suburban Conference, all melding into one, and now they have 8 teams. The North Suburban Conference will dissolve next June. The new Metro West Conference starts play next fall with 3 current members of the North Suburban. Benilde St. Margaret's on Tuesday was placed by the Minnesota State High School League into the Metro West. The Red Knights joined the 7 teams that had banded together to start the new league. Cooper High School is one of those schools, followed by Bloomington Jefferson and Kennedy. The others are Chanhassen and Chaska, along with Richfield and St. Louis Park. Benilde had been rejected for membership by the Metro West, Lake, and Northwest Suburban conferences previously before the league placed them into the Metro West. In boys soccer, Breck continues to hold the top spot in the state. In Class A, the Mustangs Tuesday, their game won't hurt them in the rankings, taking on a traditional power SPA. Just a beautiful night for soccer in Golden Valley as they take on the Spartans. Early first half free kick for Breck bounces around before Alexander Hasselbring buries it for a goal, and it's 1-0 Breck. Mustangs starting goalie is injured, so junior Nick Van Oppen gets the start. He makes a nice save here to keep SPA off the board. Second half, a perfect cross by Jake Levy. Andrew Stempvik redirects it in for a 2-0 Breck lead. The Mustangs add a goal on a penalty kick late and win at 3-0 to remain unbeaten. Mustangs are 9-0. The Wayzata boys soccer team carried a 2-match conference winning streak into its match with Minnetonka. Skippers hadn't beaten the Trojans since 2009. First half, and Wayzata's Kota Sakurai with a scoring chance, robbed though by Tonka keeper Max Millen. Nice footwork by Tonka's Solid Sulicek, and then he arcs a great shot into the top corner of the Wayzata net for a goal. It's 1-0 Skippers in the first half. Sakurai on the free kick, another scoring try here, but Millen again gets a hand up to make the save. 2-0 Minnetonka at halftime. Second half, the Trojans do get on the board. Lewis O'Connor's shot deflected in by Clayton Smith, and it's a 2-1 game. A handball in the box gives Tonka a penalty shot, and Sulchik buries it to make it 3-1 Minnetonka. The sophomore midfielder netted a hat trick, scoring on a breakaway as the Skippers win 4-1. The Wayzata girls also lost to Tonka, 2-1 the final there. Park Center's volleyball team won a Northwest Suburban Conference match last week over Coon Rapids. The Pirates looked to knock off a section foe when they placed home to the Rockford Rockets. Park Center's on the left in the first game. They set the ball back to Bethany Lovehog for the kill as the Pirates lead 18-17 in a close first game. Abby Miller's off-speed roll shot drops in over the Rockets' blockers for a point. The Pirates close strong to take 25-21 win in game one. Second game is much of the same. Park Center pulls away late. Brenna Hirschbacher's hit goes off the blockers, drops in for the winning point, and a 25-19 win. The Pirates jump out early in the third set. Lovehog gets the block. When the Rockets keep the play alive, she hammers the free ball home for a quick 6-1 PC lead. Rockford comes back, but Jessica Vielander pounds home a kill as Park Center sweeps Rockford to improve to 6-4 on the season. The Cooper volleyball team has a string of home matches coming up. First, they had to face a tough opponent on the road. The Hawks playing at Totino-Grace. Grace in the blue uniforms. So off the Cooper serve, a nice back set by Emma Schultz, Olivia Cruiser for the kill, and a 13-7 lead in the first game. Cooper scrambles to keep this ball alive, but it's the Eagles' Aaron Opat getting the kill for a 23-11 lead. Grace takes the first game 25-13. In game two, Cooper's down big, but they battle back. Grace looks to attack in the middle, but Josephine Lindgren there for the block. That pulls the Hawks within 15-9. Hope Schiller digs this one up. Schultz sets it to Schiller for the cross-court shot. Totino-Grace goes on to win Game 2, 25-12. Cooper starts fast in Game 3. They do a nice job pulling the ball off the net and keep it alive. And then ultimately, Anna Hendricks gets the big block in the middle. And that's a 5-1 Hawks lead. But Totino-Grace is too tough. Schultz sets up Schiller for the kill. And the Eagles beat the Cooper in Hawks in 3 straight, 25-12, the score in the third set. They have a tough non-conference matchup, Totino-Grace does, with Champlain Park next week. And we'll look at that one for you early in the week.
Ooh, sounds like one to watch.
Yes.
Thanks, John. Still ahead, a company where work is play and play is work.
We'll be right back. Finally, the spotlight is on a New Hope business this week.
Cre8Play is known for designing and building innovative playgrounds for children, and their work will soon be the subject of an online documentary series.
I'm right on it.
Amid the bright lights of a film crew, New Hope business owner Todd Lehman sits in the hot seat.
We're having fun.
The cameras are rolling for an online documentary series called Good Company, featuring America's most innovative entrepreneurs.
Here you have these companies that are good, that are great at what they do. They make fascinating products and they do it really well.
This is our worker ant.
Todd Lehman's New Hope company, Cre8Play, designs and builds custom imaginative play environments found at sites around the world.
We're certainly not the norm. We have quite a bit different of an outlook, culture around here.
It's one of the reasons this crew picked Lehman's business as one of 11 companies nationwide to feature.
We looked at Cre8Play's products right off the bat and saw that they were doing something really unique.
This is our mobile production studio.
For the past month, director Daniel Maitland and his crew have crisscrossed the country in this mobile production studio nicknamed Darth.
We all travel in this from different location to location to each business we're going to.
With each business they visit, they're editing snippets of video daily to promote the documentary series online.
Traveling across this country and taking a look at these businesses, you know, America's doing fantastic.
For Todd Lehman, having the spotlight on his local business isn't a new drill.
It's pretty flattering, it's pretty cool.
He's been featured before on the Discovery Channel, but this is just one more way to share his business story.
Bottom line is, you know, for them to come in here and want to, you know, feature us or learn a little bit more about us, we think it's pretty fun.
And the documentary series is set to air later this fall online. So 11 companies out of 40,000 they looked at. Not too bad to get that New Hope
good for
company
them.
in
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corners coming up, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.
Ben did a great job with that. His file stuff, which helped a lot.